At this time, we're going to have a testimony, and Shane and Mackenzie B. Warder are going to come share what the Lord has been doing in their lives. So Shane and Mackenzie, come and share with us.
I don't know if we should feel about set up following these guys. Forgive me if I stare at my papers. This isn't exactly my strong point in life. Good morning. My name is Shane B. Warder. This is my wife, Mackenzie. We'd like to share with you some of the blessings that the Lord has worked in our lives and our family, and especially in our marriage. So I'm a stay-at-home father. After 2 back surgeries, the Lord saw fit to keep me at home. If you were to ask me 6 years ago when I first injured my back if I would be content staying home in this capacity, I would have told you no. I would have told you that my job was to provide for my family, that it was my job to work, to be in the field, to work with my hands that I have always done. And that was what I was supposed to do. It's interesting for me to think now that I had any control over these things in my life. I would have never imagined that being a stay-at-home father would have been so rewarding and would have blessed myself and my children and been such a blessing to my wife and to our marriage.
Hi. Well, with Shane at home with the kids, our family was functioning, and God had brought us through the financial struggle of not having anybody providing and got me teaching. It was a huge blessing that Shane was walking again. There was a time when he was pretty much stuck in a chair all day. It was during that time of peace in our lives that Shane and I had this conversation about being angry with God. And I said I had never been in a situation where I was angry with God. I had never come to a place where I shook my fist at him and felt like I didn't deserve this. Not long after that, I was diagnosed the second time with leukemia. As I began treatment, I found myself further from God than I'd ever experienced in my life. I couldn't understand how God would bring me through cancer once, give me a wonderful husband and 2 beautiful children, just to let me die. It didn't make sense. During treatment, our kids were in Awana, and our son was memorizing verses from Hebrews 11, the Hall of Faith. As I heard him reciting, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out to a place he should receive for an inheritance, he obeyed. And there was just something in that I knew I wasn't walking in faith. I was walking in a place of self-pity, of feeling like I deserved so much more than what I had. Towards the end, in verse 8, it says, all these people died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen them far off. And I realized that we live in a place where that promise has already been fulfilled. Abraham went out in faith without having any idea the work that God was going to do in his life. And here I am knowing what Jesus has done on the cross and still sitting there feeling sorry for myself and sorry for my children. God spoke to me through that verse, though, and I heard him calling me from the darkness. Around the same time, our flock was studying the gospel-centered life. It was about idols and how the things that take your focus from God are the idols in your life. God revealed to me that I was not putting my trust in him alone. He had provided for us financially. Through Shane's small disability and the benevolence fund of the church, we had been okay. He had moved the body of Christ here at the church to feed us. We had meals 3 times a week, plus many more things that we didn't realize we need. He had ensured that my children would have a parent at home to love and take care of them in my absence. Yet here I was angry with him that my children might grow up without me. Much like the work God has done in Shane's heart to make him content in his will, God went to work on changing my heart to be content in his will for my children, whether I would be here or not. But God has brought us through the health and financial struggles. Sorry. God has changed the way we love each other. God has changed the way we love our children. He helped us to set aside the things that were keeping us from being content with him. At this moment, I am healthy, and Shane's back is better than it has been since before his surgery. I am teaching again, and I feel better than I did before going through chemotherapy. But what we know is that God is not finished with us. We don't know what blessings will come, but we know whether they are joyous or painful, they are all to draw us near to him. Thank you.